Hello all. In this video, we will see about service milestones in service request. So before that, so in any of the service industry, milestones are important because we might get every service request or we will get more uh, number of cases or service requests, right? So we need to define some timeline. So to define that timeline based on some conditions, we need this milestones, and these are also called entitlements, service entitlements. So within that specific period of time for the particular customer or someone, so we will define this timeline. So how we will uh, set up these milestones or service entitlements in B2B service, uh, that we are going to see in this video. So first we will go to the UI and we will see what exactly the UI looks like, and then we will go to the setups page. So now we are drill down into service requests. We'll go to any existing SR and then we'll just check the milestones area. Okay, so in this edit service request page, we can see some of the milestone details in this screen. So those are milestone. So it will display what is the nearest milestone or what is the next milestone, and then that next milestone time, deadline or something, uh, time remaining to complete that milestone. So and the due date. And also here, if we in the subtabs, if we go to milestone details, we can see those exact details. So here we have first response and resolution metrics. So first response is nothing but, so what is the initial response time. So initial response, once we give, right, so using service request actions response. So this is nothing but the messages. So in message, if we send a response to customer, then this um, first response metric will be completed as out of the box setup. We can change, but this is the out of the box behavior. And resolution metric. So uh, this is the resolution metric that will be completed when service request status is set to resolved. And at what time this, what is the due date or due date, and when it should start and when it should pass and when it should end, all of that we will be configuring in our setup. Okay, so so now we'll move back to the setup. So to do that, we need to go to service request offering in setup and maintenance. So if you know the task directly, you can go to search and then you can enter into the task, that is manage service entitlements. Or if you don't know, you can go to setup service offering and then here service entitlements and milestone, manage service milestone configurations. So this is the place where we can define the milestone conditions and milestone setup. So first of all, we'll just try to create one milestone. Maybe we can consider it as a first response demo. Okay. So, and then we have out of the box defined milestones, like milestone type we need to select. That means whether it's a first response or first response warning threshold or resolution, right? Resolution metric, or so we need to select that type. So we can select first response for now, and we can select milestone type. So based on this, the milestone behavior will be applied. So we can repeat or not, means we can pause and we can continue, or we can reopen that same milestone or not. So all that we can define. But usually first response will be so it cannot be reopened or repeated. So then threshold code will be first response metric. So threshold code is nothing but the milestone type, the same as milestone code. And if we are defining this particular milestone for a particular business unit only, so suppose if we have multiple business units, then we can define the milestone setups for each business unit just by changing this business unit value, so that it will be applicable only for that business unit. Of the service request, and enabled or disabled. So allow due date override. So by default, the coverage, the milestone settings will be applied. So based on that, due date will be populated. If we want to allow overriding that value, so we can check this one. And if you want to complete the milestone action by the agent manually, so then we can select this checkbox. And if you want to take the time zone as per contact or owner time zone or service request time zone, so we can select that one. So sometimes we might need to complete the service request depending on the contact time zone, or owner who is the service agent based on the service agent work time. So because agents will work on shift timings, so within that shift, they, like, we need to calculate all the time or everything. So it depends on the scenarios. So we will select the values. So for now here I am selecting owner. So then we will define when it should start. So we can say as soon as service SR created. So as soon as SR created, it will start. So, and then this is just a simple description, but the actual condition we need to define using this plus button. So just click on plus and then select the condition. So here we can define the conditions using the available fields, or we can call an object function also. Okay, so we can define some object function in service request, and that will so based on that this can be driven. Suppose that function return value, object function return value equal to something, so then uh, we can trigger that. Or in our case, it is as soon as created, so we can select just immediate. So for immediate, there is no operator and no value. So pauses, then no pause. So here we can just select never. So it will never pass first response. So it just starts and it will complete uh, on resolving. So here we can see is one of or is none of, not one of. So there are some operators. So depending on that we can select. But here I need only the status resolved. So this is how we will set up this milestone. Similarly, we can select for first response warning threshold, and for if you want to separate then resolution metric, resolution warning. So we can create for each type, we can create each milestone. But usually only like first response metric and resolution metric are enough. But depending on the scenarios, we can choose warning threshold also. So this is our milestone, and this is applicable for US1 business unit. And similarly, we can create resolution metric also. So now if you see with the same, we have uh, two milestones created. But usually we should take care of this. That is with one combination, there should be only one value. Okay, so the condition we have chosen on resolving, but this is actually when service request response is sent. So that action is also available already here. Any response sent. Yeah, we can choose this one. Any response sent. Then the initial or first response metric will be completed. But here, if we notice, here we can see some fields, right? It might be sometimes if it is a fresh environment, we don't see all of these fields here. We can see only some of the standard fields. And if we want to make any condition based on the custom field, so we need to do some additional setups to display the values right here. So we need to do some setups. So for that, so now the next step is how do we enable custom fields to milestone setup. So that we are going to see here. So for this, we need some additional things. Those are, so first we should activate and this requires, okay, so we haven't talked about the how this, so how these milestones in the backend are running, right? So that is based on either contract management or subscription management. Earlier, we have the option of using contract management for service entitlements. Now, for new implementations, it's everything is based on subscription management. So, but this UI or options are same. So in contracts, whatever we have, the same options available in the subscription management as well. So I'll just go to quickly contract management to show how previously it was using contract management to define all these steps to enable custom fields. So this is the contract screen. Here we have some tasks. So from here we can go to these are the tasks, something manage availability, standard coverage, default coverage, and then service mappings, algorithms, matrix, manage matrix classes. So these are the tasks related to milestone service entitlement setups. So earlier we will be so we were using contract setup, but from past few releases we are allowed to only use service subscription management entitlements. And for the existing users, it will be continued, but at any time they can migrate to subscription management. So now we will go to subscription management, and we will see the same options. So this is subscription page. Here we can see subscription configuration, and here we have entitlement management and then dynamic metric configurations. So these are the two areas where we will be using for milestone configuration. So not only the custom fields configuration, but also to define the that conditions, what is milestone after giving that condition, right? So we will give when milestone, suppose first response milestone. If first response milestone, when it will start at the time of creation of SR. So it will start, but what is the due date or what is the time duration for that milestone? That it will be defined using this coverages. So in coverages we will be defining, and in coverages we will use the calendar. So in the calendar we will define all the time the available timings, like during any shifts or something, 8 to 5 or 9 to 6. So those kind of timings we will define in the calendars, and that we will use in the coverage. And to use those custom fields, if we want to use some custom fields in the coverage, so then we will be adding those fields using service mappings and matrix classes to use in standard coverage and default coverage. In the standard coverage only, but yeah, we'll go to one by one. So first we will go to standard coverage. So here if we see we have different coverages, existing coverages. Okay. So but we can also create new standard coverage. Maybe say demo. Give the template name and template description, and select the entitlement type. It is service request entitlements, and give the start date. So you can activate this you can define some based on the start date and end date also. So suppose for 1 year this template will be activated. For the next year, automatically the next template whatever applicable for that year will be applicable. So if it is going to change, but if we don't have any time frame, then we can leave it end date as blank. And then coming to here we can add after clicking this one, we need to use add entitlements. So currently we have only option as channel type, and I think severity is also defaulted. So this is the only channel type we can use as of now to configure any conditions in the coverage, standard coverage. So I'm going to select all. For me, all are applicable. So I'm just selected all, then click finish. Okay, so here if you observe, I just selected CVR channel type only, but CVRST is always added. So if you are not considering severity, so then if we keep it as blank, so it will be a wildcard. So if we don't select, so if we keep it blank, so whatever the value in the severity, it doesn't matter. So it will just skip this value. And based on this value, so if we choose, it will select, it will look for the combination. So severity and the channel type of the SR. Suppose maybe we are using this one. If it is a high priority, high severity SR, and then if channel type is email. Okay, and then we will select the calendar. This is 24 by 5. Okay, uh, and for now I am selecting weekdays 8 to 9 a.m. 8 to 9 p.m. So we will discuss this calendar setup in the later next step. But we have selected the calendar. Here we will give the time in minutes. Okay, so first response time, maybe if we have like within 2 hours, it should be uh, completed. So in that scenario, we will give just 120 as a first response metric. And then first response warning threshold. So at what time uh, we need to send notification, so that time we can give. So suppose if you want to give a warning before 30 minutes, so you can give that 30 minutes here. And similarly, this is 24 hours. So 24 hours minutes you can convert, and then you can put it. So for now, I'm giving 1000 minutes, and it should be notified before 120 minutes. And if it is applicable start date and end date, so we can give, otherwise we can keep it as blank. So then adjustments, these are not we don't want this any adjustments, so because this is something advanced. So at this stage we don't need adjustments, so we will go with this one. Save and close. So now our coverage is created. But to use this coverage, so we need to use this default coverage. So we just created a coverage, but we have not assigned or we have not activated, or we haven't used it. To use, we should come to this manage default coverage, and then we need to select the condition. So here we have two levels. One is global and another one is customer. Global is applicable for all the customers, and if it is a customer, then we can select any one of the account or customer, and then the coverage that we just created, and start date is mandatory, so you can give the start date. So now what will happen is once the service request uh, account is 24/7 community hospital, then this coverage, whatever we have defined, that will be applicable. And then manage availability. So we have seen the calendar usage in standard coverage, right? So if you notice, those three calendars are defined here. If we want to define any new calendar, we can define, or we have a duplicate option to copy the existing calendar. So here I'm defining some demo calendar with 10 a.m. To 6 p.m. So this may be the shift timing. Here we can select the uh, uh, we can select the time zone. So on which time this entire calendar is entire calendar is calculated. Means all the date values or everything will be calculated on this calendar. So for now, I'll select UTC. Okay. And the start date will be this today, and end date will be maybe next year. Till next year, uh, this calendar will be active. And availability. So here everything is selected, but I don't want Sunday and Saturday. So, and it is regular, and that is 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And there is no break. So if you want any break, we can give break also. Maybe we can give one break. So 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. we can give for lunch. Okay, so this is the break time. And then yeah, so we have defined. And then so if we have any exceptions, right? So again, we can create those exception here. That means if we want to define any calendar holidays, so we can select those exceptions. For now, I'll select this New Year and Christmas, but the same thing will be created in the exceptions. After that, save. A new calendar will be created. Now go to exceptions to just see. Here also the same way we can create, and then we can give the days. So on what day, or what till from what day to what day uh, the leave or exception is available. So, and in the availability, we can select, is it completely closed, or completely closed, or limited time is available, or extended. So all of that options we can select depending on our need. So I'll say actually close it. So this is how we can configure exceptions, and the same exceptions we can create multiple exceptions, and we can assign it as per the coverage. Maybe for each region or for each country, we have a different set of holidays. So depending on that, we can define, and then we can assign it to the respective coverage. So that is about availability. And now we wanted to use some custom fields in this coverage, right? So how do we include that custom fields into this the standard coverage? So that we are going to see now. So for that, go to manage service mappings. So here we need a sandbox. So go to sandbox. And I have already one sandbox. But the tools we need to select is service mappings, manage service mappings. There is one tool. So we need to select that tool. So then only we will be able to edit this changes. So now again go to subscriptions. setup, manage service mappings. Then we need to select this subscription entitlements, and then go to the first step here is entities. So in entities, we need to select service request, and we need to give the uh, field name. Suppose we have some uh, uh, okay, we haven't checked the field, but I'll give for now demo custom. Okay, demo field. So consider this is the name of the field. So if it is this is a custom field, right? So we should give underscore custom. So this underscore custom is a extension to our attribute name. So if without underscore c, whatever value we have, that we will give, and then the extension is underscore custom, and we can select the type here. So I'll select string, and then that is our first step. So after this adding this field, go to sources, and again go to here service request, and here add the attribute. So here we will see this custom field, whatever we have added in the first step. So add that, and this is the field of the this is the API name of service request object field. Suppose maybe so if we have something field like this, underscore c, so we will just add that custom field here, and then we will go to next step. So I think this is wrong, so but we'll just try. So the API name, the custom API name that I used is wrong. So we will change later. We will change for now. Just showing the setups. And then again here in the third step, services, select again service request, and now here add the API name here. Whatever the value we selected, that we need to add here. And here one important step is, so we need to uncheck this right option. So that is one important note in this step. Okay. Okay. So before that, okay. So in this step itself, what we can see, we need to select some custom attribute name. Okay. So or else I will go to application composer quickly and will select a attribute. So there will be no confusion. Okay, I'm just selecting this payment method underscore C as a my field. So again, I'm going to subscription management setup. Manage service mappings, subscription entitlements, and then service request. Okay, entities, service request, underscore custom, and type is string. Next step is source. Here also the service request, and we will select add new this create newly created variable. Oh, okay, this is in the wrong. We have selected in under entitlement result, so we will select this service request and then add payment method custom. The view object attribute is notice. We have payment method underscore C, so select that. Then services, again select service request, add our field, just uncheck this write option, save and close. So service request mapping is done. Then we have added field, but we have to use that field in we have to enable that field to use in coverage. So for that, again, we should come to manage metric classes, subscription entitlements. So here, if you notice, so we have only these two fields, which we have seen already, severity and channel type. Okay. And then here we will add a new column or new field. And here we will give same payment method. So then source code name, payment method equal to, so entitlements, service request, payment method underscore custom. And here we can select some of the properties. So at the time of standard coverage, right, this field is required or not, that we can select, and allow null or not, so we can select. So even if it is null, it is okay. And by default, we can choose this property, null is wildcard. So if it is a null like severity code, it will be it won't consider, and it will just consider the other values. And also notice here we can associate the predefined values for this field. So if it is something from the lookup, right, so this way we can just select. Okay, so we can just select that lookup, and we can add so we don't need to give manually, so we can just select the lookup domain type as a lookup, and then we can give the values. So but we have some other options also, like view object query. So we can give the view object queries like right uh, so that if it is a something related object, right, so we can use that view object query similar to this. Here also we can notice there is one view object query. So like this, we can give view object application module or configuration view object. Okay, object attribute display name, data type. So all that we can select, and if we have any criteria, we can select that criteria as well. So this is completely kind of a new view query. But in our case, it is just a free text field. So we are using just text. And now save and close. So now if we go to standard coverage, so we should be able to see the other one more additional field, that is payment method. So by default, it is not coming because we haven't added. So to this, right, to this we haven't added, so it won't come. So if it is if we want to add any new field, so we need to duplicate and continue. And here we have an option to uh, okay, so so after removing all the entitlements, then I'm getting this option to add columns. So here if we see, the payment method came. Payment method is the custom field that we added. So here we can select the applicable values. And then we can give the values. If we check that required property in the manage metric classes, so it will be required. Otherwise, this is a wildcard. And the calendar we will choose here as per our previous step. And then we can run. So now, as soon as we create a SR, the same thing, the changes whatever we have used in this setups will be applicable, and milestones will be created immediately. But sometimes it might take a few seconds to get created, but it will be within seconds. It should create. So we have some of the profile options like or schedule processes to update a few fields, that is warning flag and threshold, uh, some flags related to milestone. So if we run that process, so depending on the milestone status, those flags will be updated. And if you want to update service request milestone status, or if you want to assign this, just refresh. So we can just use this update service request milestone actions if the milestones are not assigned. And we can always click this milestone details to see all the details. And we have different views: timeline view and list view. So timeline view will be just a graphical view. And we have also some of the reports, out of the box reports based on this milestones. So we can go with this. And last thing, so there are some options to debug this milestones. Just we'll see that. So in the manage service, if you want to configure anything for business unit, right? So there is another task, manage milestone configuration BU. We can use that task. So this manage milestone configuration is only applicable, like we can do it only outside of the sandbox. We can't do inside the sandbox. Okay, in this task itself, we have a few milestone diagnostics where we can give the service request number, and then we can check, we can get the milestone details here. So whether it is applied or not, so what is the status, which coverage it got applied. So from the service request view, we can't see the coverage and then coverage type, what schedule it applied, for what BU it is applied. So right, so all that it won't display, but here we can get that information for that specific SR. So this is for backend purpose only to debug. So that is all about milestones uh, uh, in Oracle B2B Service Cloud. So thank you.